everyone. I'm Priya.
Hi, and I'm Daniel, and you're watching Everyday Resonance, where we look at how we can align with our highest self in the world, just in the face of the ups and downs of what the world brings. And Priya, what do we focus on this program?
Everything in the human experience, from love to sex, relationships, work, spirituality, friendships, you name it. And I hope that we cover it.
Yeah, lots of great topics. And today we have a great guest. We're in the midst of focusing on love resonance, and right now the topic is conscious relationships, and actually we're just so grateful to have Brianna McWilliam with us today. We're about to go live with her to ask her some questions around what, Priya? What are we talking with Brianna about today?
Such a powerful topic today on different attachment styles, and if you don't know what they are, please stay tuned and maybe learn a little bit about yourself, perhaps partners, or even those that you have had relationships with in the past.
And so then I want to get to okay, so an anxious and avoidant partnership comes to you for guidance. And, they're dealing with some of this. One person might be saying, hey, I see I have this problem. The other person might say, I'm doing fine. I don't really, care to focus there. So then where do you take them? I'd love to hear that.
Well, first, if the focus is always to try to focus on what is going right. So oftentimes there's an emphasis on what is going wrong, how can we fix this problem, blah, blah, blah. But they're there because something connects them. There's something in the romance and in the poetry of the relationship that has brought these two together. And it is my belief that that when we find ourselves enamored with partners like this, who in essence reflect the mirrored opposite of whatever is in activation within us, it's because we are two sides of the same coin. And so thus, even though we may be struggling with a sense of friction in the relationship, we are in essence finding a sense of more completeness in the engagement with the contrast that you're experiencing. So first, I would actually start from a more positive perspective, which is, what do you love about this person? What keeps you in it? What brought you into this room? And rather than get into the headspace, which is kind of where we are now, which is, analyzing all of the intellectual content, we might start more with the creative arts based
Gratitude.
Yeah.
It sounded like gratitude, and I didn't want to cut you off because you were just about to dive into. So, creative art therapies. What are those tools? What you were describing to me sounded a lot like gratitude of showing up, and some mindfulness there, and gratitude of what is right.
Yes. So it's creative arts therapies is when we use the body activation and we use creativity as a way to establish kind of a playing field on which you can start to communicate and connect with your partners. Because when we're talking so much, we're using a lot of, our prefrontal cortex and right. And so, but our emotions and where our attachment experiences are felt are primarily in, the limbic part of the brain, which is all about feelings and memories, and both implicit and explicit memory. And, we're trying to connect on a body level. It's insight is one thing, but then feeling differently is something else.
Absolutely.
Right?
So in the context of trauma and trauma recovery, there's been a lot of research shown that implicit and explicit memories show up in the brain and in the body very distorted, or possibly distorted. And in that context, how does one decipher truth? Or do you just allow for whatever is showing up to show up and move from that space of awareness? But at the same time, how do you decipher truth?
So that's a lovely question. Comes up a lot in my online community. And it is, so a lot of times people are looking for, quote unquote, the truth. I'm going to stay with this partner because I believe in truth. They really love me. And the thing is that truth is always in the eye of the beholder. And if you are in a relationship where there is insecure attachments styles activated, and you're like, do I stay in this because in truth they really love me, and if I hold out as long as I possibly can, maybe that potential will come to be realized, and then I will have the happy ending that I really want. It's kind of like the truth isn't the potential. The truth is the dissonance. The truth is the conflict that they are in. And so when we're talking about the truth of something, inevitably you are going to be the narrator of your own truth.
Yeah.
Right.
So Brianna, we're coming close to the end of the segment.
So
And
sad. I really
yeah,
enjoyed
totally.
this
There's so much
conversation.
more where we could go. But I want to ask, like, somebody, let's say in the course of this program, is just starting to learn about attachment styles, and maybe they're starting to think of what they are. What would you say would be really good next steps for them on this path of inner exploration, inner resonance, and really wanting to bring ourselves in the world in the best way possible?
Sure. Well, I can give myself a little plug.
Yes,
Sure,
That's
please
my
do.
YouTube channel.
yes.
It's
It's
great.
been so. By the way, your YouTube channel has been very. I know Daniel has said, and he told me it's like he's found a lot of great information on your channel. So know that the work that you're doing is important.
Thank you so much. And I would also give some book recommendations, maybe if that's useful.
Sure.
What is your
I think,
YouTube channel, by the way? Do you mind? Is it just at Brianna
Adult attachment.
McWilliam?
yes, the name of the channel is Attachment in Adult Relationships, and you can also just search my name and it will pop
Okay.
up. But I think there's a book called Attached. It's a best-selling book by Heller and Levine, and I think it should be distributed as required reading in high school.
Okay.
I would highly recommend that book. I would also recommend a book. It's called Hold Me Tight by Sue Johnson. And I would also recommend another book called How to Break Your Addiction to a Person by Dr. Halpern.
I was waiting for Facing Love Addiction by Pia Melody. Is that
Another good one.
Okay,
Another
good.
good one. Yeah.
I was looking at your brain on love.
Yep.
So your Facebook group that you have, is that open to anyone, or is that specifically people enrolled in your programs?
So the Facebook group I was referring to, it is technically a closed group, but if
Okay.
you just express interest in joining, you can get in.
Oh, okay. Great.
We do have, I do have online programs, and for those that decide that they would like to participate in those, we do have then more exclusive groups so that they can participate in a more private discussion.
Are you on Facebook and Instagram as well?
Yes, same thing, just my name, and on both of those
Okay.
platforms.
Wonderful. Well, we've come to the end of the show. Brianna, thank you so much for joining us today. Really
was a
awesome,
pleasure.
great information.
It's a pleasure chatting with you.
Yeah, if you have
Yeah.
any questions for us or want to comment at all, you can do it, of course, in any of our social media experiences or environments. You can also email us at everydayresonance@gmail.com. Also, if you're interested in sponsoring the program, you can go there as well. And
don't forget, every week, every day, turn into yourself. And then every Wednesday at 12 noon, Everyday Resonance. Bye.
bye. Thank you.